Hello, and welcome back to Firesense Gaming. My name is Ben, and today we're going to continue on with Ever17. So last time off, we didn't really accomplish too much. We got introduced to our two point-of-view characters, as well as at least half-assedly met all of our heroines. So yeah, let's pick it up where we left off here. Oh well. Hit by a slight dizzy spell, he leaned against the wall. What in the world? He sighed. He was fully and utterly beat. The staffer that had just been talking to him had vanished somewhere. Yu wasn't around either. He had lost sight of the other girl as well. He was alone again. What did I come here for? He thought that maybe he should have waited where he was before, after all. Having lost his destination, he rode the elevator from the aquarium and returned to basement floor 2. Basement floor 2, zweiter Stock. The second floor. I screwed up. The rest area is down one more level. He felt like he had come a long way from the elevator room. He didn't know which path he should take to go down. Which way? Could you come here for a moment? A voice called to him from somewhere. From somewhere. Huh? From the shadows of the path, the owner of the voice was beckoning to him. But the hand did not belong to a human. Oh, that's gotta be, the lemur, I guess. So, let's see, let's go... Look, hurry up, will you? It was the whispering voice of a young woman. Her bulky black arm was swaying rhythmically. Disturbed by the difference between the voice and its owner's appearance, he moved, hypnotized, in its direction. The hand and arm clearly belonged to Tanuki. It was a big Tanuki. Do you know where we are? He was led by the Tanuki into a room at the end of the walkway, rather packed into it. Is this the girls' changing room? He saw a uniform like the one you had been wearing, packed away inside an open locker. Hey, I can even see some women's underwear. The room smelled like perfume. The air was saturated with a scent so strong it almost made him choke. The smell was about to overwhelm him. He struggled to get his mind under control and maintain his focus. Hey, do you know where we are? The Tanuki asked the same question again. Come to think of it, why was she a Tanuki anyway? He had no clue. This is the changing room. Oh, I guess that was her. Whatever. She said this before he could answer. Changing rooms are a place to keep secrets away from prying eyes. She said this quietly. Secrets? Suddenly his vision faded. Everything went completely dark. Huh? Will you look after this for me? What? Look after? He didn't understand. Here, I'll help you put it on right. Wear it. He had no idea what she was talking about. He didn't understand why, but he couldn't move. He was powerless to resist her and let her do what she wanted. In a moment, something completely covered his body. This should do it. Alright then, I'll leave the rest to you. And the light sound of her footsteps faded into the distance. The last thing he heard was the click of a door shutting. He heard the sound, but he didn't see her leave. What did she do to me? His face felt heavy, his body felt heavy. He had tunnel vision, and for some reason his body was bristling with hair. Could it be that this is the mascot outfit? When he shook his head, it made it sound like bristles brushing something, and there was a smell. There was some other scent from inside the costume, a sweet smell that made him dizzy, pierced deep into his brain. Before he knew what was going on, he had opened the door and was shuffling out into the pathway. Without thinking, he let out a cry. He had found it. It's that damn Tanuki. He had just been told it wasn't a Tanuki, but Mew or Fox-like Monkey, but that information already disappeared from his mind. I forgot its name. Doesn't matter though, he's the one that hit me and ran away. He didn't want revenge. But he did want to ask it why it had done what it did. Without making a sound, he slowly approached the Tanuki mascot, Mew Mew. And as soon as he got behind it, he quickly grabbed the costume by the head. There. Who are you? I should be asking you that. Why did you do something like that? Huh? What did I do? Don't play dumb with me. I have no idea what you're talking about. You punched me. No, I didn't. I have no idea what you mean. Liar, what? Did you forget? I'm not lying. This girl gave me this outfit out of nowhere and... What? You just met her. When did you change? I just put it on. Just put it on? What are you talking about? But why do this? This... At that point, the Tanuki collapsed. He collapsed in full Mew Mew regalia, minus the head. What? Hey! Takeshi shook his shoulders, but there's no response. Somebody come quick, something's not right here, he yelled. Visitors watched from a distance. What's the matter? A female employee had heard the fuss and came running. Huh? You're that girl from before. This guy just collapsed all of a sudden. Let me see. The employee took the pulse of the fallen youth. Takeshi wondered if she had any medical knowledge. He's alright, but we can't leave him here like this. I'll. Great, thanks. Why had this happened? He had no idea. No idea. Oh, this is back to the kid, sorry. Where he was, where had he gone? Shaking, feeling ill. He could feel hair from the costume rubbing along both of his sides as two people carried him, rubbing. He wished to get the mascot suit off him quickly. The fur felt nasty. It was hot. So hot. So hot he couldn't stand it. The heat made him feel faint. His consciousness felt like it would drift away. Why had this happened? It was strange. So strange. It wasn't him or her. He heard a different voice from somewhere. He had been hauled in the infirmary. Oh, what it could be? Is he anemic? Maybe it was the mascot suit. Maybe he couldn't get used to wearing it. It's possible. It could be heat exhaustion. Does it look like you'll be okay? It doesn't appear to be anything serious. A little rest and you should be fine. I see. Thanks for your help. I'll take it from here. Cool. Alright then. He opened the sliding door and left the room. Saving people can sure be stressful. Well, what was it I came here to do? A cool breeze is blowing along the walkway. Breeze. But where was it coming from? Jeez. Just bouncing back and forth so much. He wondered where he'd come from. He saw something faintly. The ceiling. Sheets. A bed. He had been put to sleep on a bed. On a bed in the infirmary. He saw something again. Below the sick room bed. Who was on the bed below? Who is this? This isn't me. Of course not. Is that Coco in a prison cell down there? Alright, that's not creepy at all. I like it. He decided to go further down the hall. The third floor underground. Well, underwater, I guess, technically. They had called it Dritte Stock. Guys, they've got to be lined up waiting for a crowded ride somewhere. Hey, sorry, I'm getting in. He dashed into the elevator. The doors reopened silently and closed again. Huh? Well, one other person had gotten on. A girl. A girl. More like a young woman, I guess? One girl had gotten on. She was about high school age. The elevator floated upward in an instant before descending. There was a faint sound of movement and vibration. And then his eyes met with the girl's. He wondered why. The girl stared at him suspiciously. What? Just who are you? Why are you here? Why are you following me? Let's see here. We're gonna go with stay silent, I think. She avoided his eyes. He felt like the air around him had suddenly gotten much heavier. Jolting suddenly, the elevator stopped. He looked at the ceiling. The lights flickered unsteadily. What was that? It couldn't be. Couldn't be? Couldn't be what? Couldn't be. He wondered if something gone terribly wrong. It was strange. Very strange. Who's this? Oh, it's her. We finally met. I've been looking for you this whole time, but his voice didn't reach her. He couldn't hear her voice either. No matter how much he tried, no sounds reached him now. Damn, what's going on? But he saw a figure faintly. He was able to make sure. He could see himself and the girl talking over there. He saw it on the other side. I can see myself over there? He watched, and he watched. That's strange. No, it's odd. If I'm watching them, then who's the me watching me? What's up with this, like, nice horror movie background? Something felt out of place. Now he knew the truth and his lips trembled. Who is that? Who could the me over there be? He couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. It was like a dream. It was like he was watching the continuation of a dream. But a dream couldn't have felt so powerfully raw. All the screaming, and the sound of running feet, the shrill wailing of sirens. That wasn't a dream or an illusion. Could it be? Do you know something about this? I don't know anything. Do you know something? How could I know anything? The lights gradually dimmed and finally went out. Why? He had no idea. He didn't know. There's no way he could know. But there on the bed. There. On the bed. There. The bed below. The bed on top. The bed below. Who are you? Who? Stop. Please stop. Don't come out. Please don't come out. Stay inside. Don't crawl out of there. Stop. Please. Stop. No. There was nothing to fear. It was alright. Because there was no longer anyone. Because there was no one there. Hey, who's there? Is somebody there? I'm here. I'm still in here. Somebody, get me out of here. Answer me, please. Isn't there anyone there? Nobody answered. The surroundings were filled with silence. What, is anybody there? So, I'm alone. He burst out with laughter, the ultimate feeling of liberation. There's no one to restrain him now. And he ran, but no one stopped him. Getting there was easy. All that was left was to aim for the center. Just take a step. It was simple. He threw his body into the water. He sank. Deeper, deeper, and deeper. Sound died away. The embrace of unbelievably pure silence. Not even a beam of light pierced the darkness. All he could hear was repetitive, heavy breathing. He lost himself, mind short-circuiting. His vision narrowed and was overrun with blue. Deep blue. Blue. Something was strange. He wondered if it really was blue. Even though he was perfectly still, it seemed as if his heart was racing. Sweat poured off of him. His breathing was ragged and labored. Alright, I have no idea what's going on, so it's all good. Gradually, his consciousness dissolved into the darkness. Black. Endless black. There's no mistaking it this time. Everything was stained black. There were no boundaries to this color. His ears hurt. The ringing in them wouldn't stop. He felt pressure expanding in his lungs. He felt queasy, sick to his stomach. The air pressure is dropping. I forgot. I need to pop my ears. With the pop, the air building inside his ears was released. Ugh, damn. Which way is the exit? Pitch black. Nothing moved. He didn't move either. There wasn't any sign of a breeze. He didn't hear anything. Just echoes from something invisible. Time froze to a stop. If he stopped here, he felt like he would forget that he was even alive. It was his intuition, only a little more. No, it was no good. He had to get out. But he didn't even know which direction to go. He had to get himself out of this darkness. Had to. But what could he do? What could... He didn't know. He didn't know. Just then, he felt a faint, warm light. Light? A blade of light slicing through the flat world of darkness. And he knew. The direction was over there, and that there might be a way out, if he could get over there. Awesome. Alright, so let's see. This is the choice that locks you in as to which main character you are. And I'm pretty sure I want to go with the use route to start with. I don't know why, it just sounds fun. So, we've got to go with who am I. So that'll lock us in on the kids route. So sweet. Alright. I didn't know where I was, but I quietly opened my eyes. The next thing I knew, I was on a bed. The ceiling was so white it was slightly blinding. It smelled of disinfectant. I wondered where I was. Are you awake now? A shadow passed above me on the bed. I wondered who it could be. No, wait a minute. Somewhere. I felt like I had met this person somewhere before. How are you doing? I'm just guessing that's you. I'm pretty sure that's the right voice. You look alright anyway. Who was it? I knew her. I was sure that I knew her. Still, I couldn't put my finger on any one thing about her that I knew. The more I thought about it, the more the area around my temples pounded with pain. Good. It totally was you. I'm not quite familiar with their voices enough yet to know that for sure, but that was right. Sweet. Yeah. Oh, I guess it's no good then? Does your head hurt? I pressed my temples with the fingers of both hands, nodding slightly. I see. Just wait a second, alright? I'll try to find some painkillers. She laughed sweetly and stepped away from me. I raised myself up and looked around. The room was completely white. The number of beds tidily lined up in a row. Looking behind me, there was a curved glass window in the wall. I got off the bed and put on my shoes, which were neatly arranged below me. I approached the window. Outside, as far as the eye could see, was one endless sheet of blue. Transparent waves of light swayed gently in the deep, dense navy mist. I put both my hands on the wall, pushed my face up against the glass. Just then, a flash of silver light darted across my vision. For an instant, I was afraid, then I noticed it was just a fish. This is the middle of the ocean. What's the matter? At some point, the girl would come to stand beside me. Like, of course it is.
ここはレミューの救護室なんだから。
This is the Lemieux Infirmary. Lemieux? The instant I heard that word, a flash of searing light reappeared in the back of my mind. That's right. I had come to Lemieux. The theme park Lemieux floating in the ocean. And I had been walking around Lemieux with her. There were ancient ruins, and the whale floating in the darkness, the jellyfish gondola, the merry-go-round. But why had I come to this place, to Lemieux? Did I come for fun? Of course I had. This was a theme park after all. But was that right? Was that really the reason? A violent head pain struck me again. I shook my head again and again, my face distorted from the pain. Hey, are you like alright? Shouldn't you rest a little more? She helped support me as I returned to the bed. And brought you some headache medicine. She held 2 white pills in her left hand, and her right was cupped full of water. White pills, 2 of them. Thanks. I took the pills and gulped them down. It's probably just mild barotrauma or decompression sickness. It happens a lot to visitors. And they just feel ill all of a sudden and get carted in here. As she said this, she slyly took the cup from my hand. I sank my head back into the fluffy pillow. It's a bit of a stretch going down here anyway. People with no experience is jumping into 6 atmospheres for long periods of time. Sheesh. The air pressure in the Earth's atmosphere is made for people to live comfortably. Of course people are going to have bad reactions to breathing air this thick. Air and first love both should be light, no doubt about that. Coffee on your first time? Well, those are of course better thick. Huh? That was a really bad joke. She touched my face with the palm of her hand. The backs of her slender fingers stroked my cheek. The smooth texture of her skin slipped down from my neck to above my chest and stopping there. It's alright, you don't seem to have a fever. She smiled at me. Somehow I felt all embarrassed. I pulled the bed cover up to my eyes and hid my face. Just rest like that for a while, okay? I'll go see what's going on outside. Outside? Yeah, how should I put this? While you were asleep, it seems there's a bit of trouble. Well, I'll explain it later. I don't even know what the hell's going on yet. Anyway, for now, just rest and don't worry about anything, okay? Seeing me nod, she walked away from the bed. Hey, wait a second. Huh? Just let me ask you one thing. What might that be? Why am I here? I just told Key that this is the Lemieux Infirmary, right? I'm just slightly confused as to what this sentence is supposed to mean, but that's okay. Anyway, you passed out all the sun at the kiosk on its way to stock. Then some guy and I hauled you here. You don't remember what happened? Kiosk. At the kiosk, in front of a big window. A sweet smell. Something covering my body, the lemur mascot. Cool. It was you. You're the one who hit me. That's right. I remember. And I was struck dizzy, like something being stolen away. I lost consciousness, and...
思い出した？
So, do you remember? Yeah.
質問は？
You have any other questions? I shook my head and answered.
それじゃあいい子にして待っててね。
Well, be a good boy. Wait here, alright?
すぐ戻ってくるから。
I'll be right back. She patted my head gently and began walking for the door, while I turned my head to stare at her back. My name's Yu. My last name is Tanaka. My real name is much longer, though, but it's such a pain. Just call me Yu. I remembered her words. Yu turned at the door and looked back at me, lifting her hand to wave and left the infirmary. All alone inside the room, it was quiet, like time had stopped. I didn't know if the medicine had started working up, but my headache was completely gone. As I stared at the ceiling, I thought about the events leading to my being in that bed. Before I passed out, I had been walking around Lemieux with you. We had gone to a shop and were talking, then we rode an egg-shaped elevator up 2 floors. Before I had met you, I had been in a small park. I was on a bench in that park. I was waiting for someone. Who? Who was I waiting for? I didn't know. My memory was a fog, and thinking about events after that, my mind just seemed to cloud over. I shook my head several times trying to clear it and concentrate. Why was I here? Why had I come to Lemieux? Did I come alone, or was I with someone else? What was I doing before I came to Lemieux? How had I arrived at this amusement park? It's no use. I can't remember. The thread of my memory was cut off right there. At that time on the park bench enjoying ice cream, I couldn't get beyond that. It was like getting lost in a forest and going to turn back, only to discover that everything had gone dark. I felt very strange. It felt just like I was in the middle of a dream. I felt like I had lost something important, something very important. But I didn't know what that something was. And not being able to move forward made me feel that it was specifically because I'd lost something important. I felt an unpleasant sense of something lacking. And this sense of something not quite right irritated me. I took my right hand out from under the blanket, stared spacely at the palm of my hand. The countless wrinkles etched there, intertwining, reaching out like the branches of a tree in complicated patterns. The pinkish skin and buried deeper the slightly blue veins. And 5 fingers. Had my hand always had this strange shape? Bizarre thoughts hit me from nowhere. No, my right palm was no different than it had ever been. Yet, for some reason, I felt that I had to doubt even the most natural of facts. Maybe, just possibly, up until a few hours ago, I might have had 6 fingers. Or 7, or maybe even 8. I felt like something was wrong. Could I have been feeling this way because I lost something special? I opened and closed my hand, just repeating that meaningless, simple exercise. I wandered in the forest, searching for that one lost finger. The door to the infirmary opened, and you returned. You dashed into the room and ran toward me, as if she were going to bowl me over. What are you doing? This is like no time to be sleeping. She shouted at me suddenly. Dude, what the fuck? Completely clueless, I simply lay there, stunned. Get up quickly! You peeled away the blanket and dragged me off the bed. What's the matter? I don't know. I don't know, but anyway, we gotta escape out of here. You had a panicked expression. The relaxed look that had been on her face just a while ago had vanished completely. Escaped? Where? There's only one place. It's called the surface. The floating island on the ocean. Why? Dude, where else are you gonna escape to? You're in the middle of the, underwater. Because I say so. Don't ask questions. We're escaping because we have to escape. There was something urgent and powerful in these words. You dragged me along. From her powerful grip, I felt a sharp sense of crisis. I hurriedly slipped on my sneakers and fled out of the room with her. The instant we emerged into the sprawling corridor, my feet stopped. I sucked my breath, my body froze, and I just stared at the light spreading before me. There was something missing. People, sound, warmth. No way, this can't be. The eerie words I muttered were devoured by the eerie silence. Looking back and forth in the corridor, even in the furthest direction, there was no sign of people. Just the man-made walls on both sides. Unnatural light, whiter than white, shone from the ceiling and gave off a cold light. Why? Why isn't anyone here? You get it now? That's why we have to escape. Everyone, where could everyone be? Cool, this sentence also makes no sense. I do remember from back in the day that there's some weird translation issues with this and some kind of terrible quality control. Yeah, it's definitely showing up here. So let's try to figure this out. Do you think they're playing hide and seek? I'm just gonna assume that's the right sentence. Anyway, there's no time to think about it now. We need to get out of here ASAP, or... Saying that, you again tugged my arm. Hunched over and on the verge of tripping, I let you lead me through the wide corridors as we ran. Our footsteps were the only sound echoing in the quiet complex. The more we ran, the more out of breath I became. My heart was pounding. Really, everything just felt like a dream. A nightmare in which some unknown monster was chasing us everywhere. No clues to the identity of the monster, nor why we needed to escape. Hair-raising fear rose within me, and I was powerless to do anything. I simply cowered. In a world devoid of people, among faded colors, just used palms grasped my arm. Only the certainty of her touch, that one point of contact, allowed me to retain any connection with reality. Finally, we arrived in front of the elevator. You rushed to the front of the door and pushed the up button. The button was unlit. No way, you gotta be kidding! Why is things stopped? You struck the button repeatedly, but nothing happened. The light stayed off. There was no sign that the floor display above the elevator doors was functioning either. Hey, aren't there any, emergency stairs or anything? Because, in case of emergency, don't use the elevator? You looked back and shifted her eyes around as if she were thinking. Follow me. Saying only that, she dashed off. Straight down that long, stretching corridor. You turned her head to the left and right looking for something. It looked like she soon found what she was looking for, and she headed toward it single-mindedly. A ladder. Next to it was written in straight red letters, emergency exit, with an arrow pointing upward. At the other end of that ladder was the ceiling, a sturdy-looking door with a round-shaped handle attached to it. Are there emergency stairs on the other side? Without answering, you started climbing the ladder. She turned the handle and opened the door. Now hurry! This is an emergency escape corridor. There are emergency stairs that run along it. You told me as quickly as we ran. The corridor stretched in a gentle arc so that the far end was not visible. The scenery was repetitive, and I began to have delusions as I was running in place. Where in the world am I right now? How far do I have to run? I just had to trust in you and chase after her back. Suddenly, you turned right. Inertia kept me going forward. Afraid I would miss a turn, I grabbed the corner with my hand, yanking myself around and chasing after you again. The route had become straight. Immediately to the left, a green-colored sign for emergency stairs was lit up. Below the light was a closed door. You jumped towards the door's handle. More self-explanatory noises. This is stiff. This is so... You was desperately trying to turn the handle. It won't open?
開けてみせる
It'll open. It'll open for sure. I'll make it open.
だからほらポケット突っ立ってないで手伝ってよ
Don't just stand there. Get over here and help me. Spurred by her words, I firmly grabbed onto the handle. I tried with all my might to turn it in the direction of the arrow that said open. Ah, damn, what's with this? It won't budge an inch. It was stuck fast, almost as if it had been welded shut. It didn't look like it would move to the right or left.
せーので回してみよう
Hey, we'll try to check when I say ready, go.
いい行くよ
Okay, here we go.
せーの
Ready, go. With that, I threw my complete weight onto the handle. Ugh, damn. Open. Just then it happened. A sound arose up as if from inside the earth, echoing heavily from somewhere. You and I relaxed our grips and looked at each other.
何なのよこの音
What was that sound? The wall shook. Small vibration shook the handle we had grabbed. The lights on the ceiling flashed regularly. The metal mesh floor was clanging against itself. An earthquake?
そんなわけないでしょ
It couldn't be. We're in the middle of the ocean, you dumbass.
ここは
Where?
ここは
Where?
海の中なんだから
In the middle of the ocean, after all. Vibrations gradually increased in intensity. The squeaking sound of steel against steel shocked our ears. You and I held our breath, waiting still. We tried to focus, sharpening our senses, our eyes wandering the void. A low growling sound, like the groan of a monster. A monster approaching. A voice filled with hate and rage turned to a howling roar, sending shivers up my spine. Where's that coming from? Huh? Where's it coming from? What? Yu's voice approached a scream. Her voice lost all color and her lips went dry. The eyes behind her silky, swaying bangs looked as if they were about to cry. Silky, swaying bangs? Wind. It's wind. Muttering this, I looked in the direction of the wind, down the extremely long corridor. Something appeared pushing and vying for space. No way.
嘘でしょ
You're kidding.
まさか
It couldn't be.
水
Water? A monster came crashing towards us at terrifying speed, mixed in a roiled spray of water. Nice. There was no doubt. It was a rushing behemoth of water. Massive froth of waves. Ah! It was not the time to be shouting. You and I started sprinting desperately. We turned left at the corner and ran. And ran. The voice of the monster was right on our heels, but we couldn't look back. If we looked back, we felt like we would be swallowed up. Something beyond fear or terror had made our minds go completely blank. We couldn't even think. We could only run desperately for our lives. My shoulder bumped against the wall of the narrow corridor. It looked like my foot would get caught up in the bent metal flooring. Avoiding the pipes that hung down, we leapt over the raised entrance to the watertight door and ran. We just ran on and on. This has got to be a dream. For an instant, that thought cut across my mind. In a world without people and faded colors. Drooling monsters reaching its bluish-white arms out towards my neck. We were spit out with massive water into a sprawling room. We were turned head over heel in the violent water. Several times, maybe several dozen times, over and over again, until finally my body stopped moving. Ow! I peeled my body from the soaked floor. Water was still pouring in from the far side of the open emergency entrance. Water was flowing down like a waterfall and spreading smoothly towards the far corridor as if it were crawling across the floor. Ah, that's right, what about you? Just as I thought that and looked back, Yu was standing up. You okay? I shook the soaked Yu's shoulders and looked into her eyes. They were empty. Her purplish blue lips were quivering. Yu was completely dazed. You? You, hang on. The level of water continued to rise during this short time. What should I do? What should I... Just then it happened. The watertight doors at the four sides of the room began to close at once. The doors are closing. Ever so slowly, letting off a dull sound. You? You? I tried shouting, even shaking her harder, but there was no response. Rather, Yu's body went limp and she collapsed to the floor. Hey, quit goofing around, come on! I took Yu's arm and put it over my shoulder, lifting her up. We started walking towards the nearest watertight door. Yu is heavy like a stone. The water pooled around both my legs and I couldn't move forward as fast as I wanted. Gradually, a steel partition slid down from above. Another one came up from below, pushing away any water that moved. The stopped-up water swirled around. As the width between the doors narrowed, the water level increased. Come on, make it in time. Please just make it in time. Sadly, the door didn't stop moving. There's only a small opening left for us to escape. Whoa! There's no way I'm gonna die here. Giving a shout, I ran, pushing the water out of the way. Yu's slumping body weighed heavily on my shoulder, but I couldn't let go of her arm. I pulled together all my power. Almost there. Almost. Right there. With one hand, I grabbed hold of the edge of the... just barely. Just a few seconds after I'd squeezed our bodies to the narrow gap, the watertight door closed completely. We placed our backs against the closed door and collapsed. There was almost no sense of relief. Both my legs were shaking, and my heart was beating like it would explode. We spent a few moments there in stupor. Awesome. Alright, well, it seems like as awful and as good of a place as any to go and stop it for today. Definitely running a little long here. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see y'all next time.